It's Monday once again. That means it's time for a new set. Let's get into it. Hi, Brian from Airflow Music here once again. Welcome back to another video. This is day 34 of our Go Practice Daily series. I hope you're having a great day today. I'm in celebratory mood today. I'm recording this Sunday in the evening after I learned that my good friend Charlie Rosen, the band leader of the 8-Bit Big Band in which I play, won his first Grammy for one of our arrangements, which is fantastic news. Congratulations, Charlie. If you haven't run across this band yet, I'll link the Grammy-winning song, the YouTube video, down below. Okay, and you can enjoy that. Anyway, let's get into the exercises for today, because it is Monday, and so that means it's new set day. So we're moving on to set 6. As always, the set will be available as a free downloadable PDF from the Airflow Music online store, and you'll also find the link for that in the description below this video. So you can go ahead and grab that. But as I go through it, as always, the notes will be up on screen as well, so you can play along easily that way. So, let's get into set 6, exercise 1. Now we're moving up again, we've got the slight variation, so now we're bridging the gap in whole steps, in whole tones, of a major third. So, after the slightly melancholy sounding exercises the past couple of weeks, which have sounded very minor, now we're into a major key, which should be nice. It'll be a bit more cheerful. So, the pattern is up on screen right now, and so, it's much the same thing as we've been doing, so there shouldn't be any real surprises here, but we're playing whole steps, up and down, in each phrase. Pretty straightforward. The only curveball in this one is where the alternate fingerings pop up later on. Similar to set 4, I think it was. There's some alternate fingerings in the higher register, and yeah, that'll be something to look out for. But in common with the last set that had alternate fingerings, now we're not worrying about playing the regular fingerings first. I think we're familiar enough with the expanding series to know where we're aiming for. Okay, so keep an eye out for those. Other than that, this is the same scheme that we've been dealing with. So, we're going at 60 beats a minute. I'm focusing on playing in time, so I'm tapping my foot and subdividing the beat. I'm breath starting the first note of every phrase and attempting to breathe in time on the rest bar. I'm playing this as a long setting, so the mouthpiece remains on my lips throughout the entire exercise. If you're not, then it doesn't need to. Okay? Other than that, yeah, pretty much the same thing we've been dealing with. So keep an eye out for those alternate fingerings, and let's get into exercise 1. That was exercise 1. Went off fairly smoothly, I think. A couple of the early keys, I think I had some water in my horn, if I recall. And, got a little gurgly for a second. But generally that went off fairly smoothly, and, as I've said before, it should by this point. We've been playing something very similar to this every day for over 5 weeks now. So it's, good to keep these things moving forward. But exercise 1 in particular, not too unfamiliar. Did you catch where those alternate fingerings are? They were marked. They're marked on the PDF and they were marked on the screen. So keep an eye out for those. If you are playing notes which can be with the 1 and 2 valve combination, you can always also play those with the 3rd valve only. Okay? Really depends on how your horn tunes, what your preference is. Okay? How did you find this one first time out? Any untoward surprises? If there's anything that's not clear, please do leave a comment down below. In the meantime, let's move on to exercise 2. Now, exercise 2 for this lot, we are sticking with the 16th notes or semiquavers, and we're sticking with the tempo we've been doing, which is 80 beats a minute. I think that's a good tempo to get these things going a little bit. This time we're doing the same pattern as exercise 1, just repeated over and over again in 16th notes. So we're getting moving some now. In this one, similarly, there are alternate fingerings in the last few higher keys from the E major on upwards, I believe. And so, once again, they're marked on the PDF, they're marked on the screen as I play them. You'll see where they are. For the purposes of this one, I didn't bracket them, but every alternate fingering is to be used for all the notes up to the next double bar line. Is the easiest way of thinking about it. So the entire phrase. Okay? Other than that, we're going at 80 beats a minute. Once again, there are 3 bars of 16th notes followed by a whole note. So we are slurring the first bar, tonguing the second bar, and alternating 2 beats each, slurred and tongued on the 3rd bar. This isn't a long setting exercise, so on the 2 bars rest at the end of each phrase, I am taking the mouthpiece off my lips and resetting. Not too much else to say here. Keep your eye out for those alternate fingerings again, and let's get into exercise 2. that one over. 1, 2, There was exercise 2. Overall it wasn't too bad, but I had a couple of moments, as you heard. I had to restart the first low, I think it was the low D flat. It was fairly early on. I just tied my fingers in knots. I realised as I was moving through there that I really needed to oil my valves, but I didn't want to stop and deal with it, so just ploughed on through. But the valves were getting a little bit spongy, and so having finished recording that, I've now oiled them and everything would be better. But there it is. And a couple times later on with the kind of alternate fingering flexibility sort of patterns in the last couple of keys, I found the slur a little bit difficult. Didn't quite get it moving right. So that'll be something for me to work on throughout the week. How did you find these? How's the tempo working for you? Is everything clear with how I've notated it? Once again, please leave a comment below and let me know. It's always welcome and helpful when you do. Okay, other than that, that's set 6. That's what we're dealing with this week. So I'll leave this one here. Once again, if you want to download the PDF, you'll find the link down below. It's a free downloadable PDF, as always, at the Airflow Music Online store. If you've enjoyed this video and the exercises, please do hit that like button. It makes a big difference on YouTube when you do. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We've topped 15,000 subscribers in the last couple of days, which is very exciting. Thank you all for being here and checking out the videos. I do appreciate it. In the meantime, I'll see you back here for the next round of set 6 tomorrow. And until then, you know what to do. Go practice.